Hey guys, welcome to what I am starting to call conscious thoughts. So this will be the first trial period of this, and the whole point of this is to practice sharing knowledge with all of you, or sharing insights with all of you, and for those that are interested in learning or listening, stories that I've gotten from friends, colleagues, family members, and interpreted or analyzed and presenting them to you in my own way, shape, and form. And I think it's just a better way to learn how to also better communicate with all of you, so that I deliver clearer messages that are more purposeful and impactful for everyone involved. So with that being said, let's give it a shot, yeah? So what I've thought of in the last days, or really the last, I would say 24 hours, it's been on my mind, is the topic of courage. What is courage? Why do we have courage? And, maybe even one day, how do you use courage? So what I've noticed, on Tuesday, I was scared shitless and super excited at the same time, to be offered a position to speak in front of 1,000 people, more or less, but online for a symposium. And I know how to speak and lead a crowd for sure. I don't have formal training, not at all. But I do find that once I'm in front of something, after a few minutes, I really enjoy it, especially if it's something that's dear to my heart, like movement and breath work and things like this. So I prepared a bit diligently, but not as diligently as I would have wished for. So if I look back, definitely wanted to prepare more. But Monday night, I'm looking over my script and my writing, because I have 25 minutes on camera with no one, with myself, and one participant that is going to be like my student, my model for the whole thing. And I actually knew this person very well, which was great. So what happened was I could not sleep on Monday. It just didn't happen. I went to bed super late. I had to wake up at 5 a.m., completely excited, ready to go, and nervous. And I get to this building, and I'm there 2.5 hours early or more. And I was completely calm during those moments. But what I realized on the drive there and during the morning of preparing everything is just taking care of my routine was my way of centering myself and getting ready, regardless of how I felt. It was just everything's packed, ready to go. I have this time I need to be done by. I can do my breathing techniques or my movements and just, center myself. And then I get in the taxi, get to the place, hanging out there, getting to meet people, and I realized my patterns are making things warm and fuzzy and comfortable. So I'm speaking to many different people and getting smiles and learning about them and what's going on. And then I realize I need to sit down, focus, kind of lock myself in a room and move. So after the quote unquote makeup time, because I got makeup put on, I went for a walk. And during this walk, I felt like this was my time of, I don't want to call that spot brave. I think the whole story that I'm sharing with you is just being brave in general. It's doing something that, you're scared of, you're excited for. It's a step forward to learn. And even if you fail, quote unquote, or it doesn't go so great, you're learning. You're learning how to change and how to prepare differently. So I said hi to everyone. I had my coffee. I got my makeup done. And then I just booked it. I ran out of the room and I walked around the block for about, I think, 10 or 15 minutes and just looked at my book, looked at my notes, and started repeating them, over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. And what's interesting is and I know this from a psychology standpoint, not just this is my physical place, but from a psychology standpoint, even if you're super prepared, if you get emotional and very stressed out and into the back of your brain, the amygdala place, the primitive brain, you get a bit forgetful, or dumber as they call it, which is okay. But you have to learn how to get out of this fight or flight response. You have to get into the more calming and, relaxing space. So I finish my speaking and or my walk rather, not to the event yet. I finish my speaking and such. And then as I go back there, I realize I have a bunch of time still, so I'm speaking to a few other people and then realizing I need my time to focus again. And so the countdown's kind of beginning. There's 20 minutes left. Let's hook you up, Brad, and get you set up, and you can just stay by the place where you're going to be filmed. And there's like a 15 minutes, there's a 10 minutes, there's a 5 minutes, there's a 3, 2, 1 minute. And, by minute 10, I'm going, all right, I'm relaxed, I'm cool, this is easy. By minute 5, I'm like, oh shit, it's coming. Brad, you're ready, come on. But oh shit. Minute 3, I'm like, oh boy, this feels, much more intense than I'm used to feeling, and I'm feeling like I'm well practiced because I've spoken in front of big groups before, even if it's not so often. And then it's 2 minutes, and then the 1 minute mark hits, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I stand up out of the chair. No one saw this. I stand up out of the chair, and I walk a little bit, and I'm looking up at the sky and going, breathe, breathe, breathe. Oh, my goodness, what am I going to say? Instead of the, okay, this is what I'm saying, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. But I knew no matter what, I'm going through it, yeah? There's no stopping. There's no halting. If I mess up, I mess up. But I know what I'm going to do, and it's okay. And I remember going back a few years. I actually was on stage doing like a little circus performance with hand balancing and such. And I was so nervous that I completely messed up the routine. I did that twice, actually. And that was fine. I mean, it wasn't fine as in it was still, freaky and I wasn't happy with it. But it was fine in terms of people still cheered and still were happy to see what they saw. It's just a mistake. So then, he goes 5, 4, the countdown's begun, like you're in 3 seconds, you're starting, 3, 2, 1, and I'm like, hi guys, my name is Brad Franco, and I'm like a mental leadership coach. And I immediately realize I'm completely, not brain dead, I know I can get through this, but like, oh boy, how am I gonna speak? Throat tightens, the squeakiness comes out, and just for a moment you can hear a little sense of emotional, gah. And then we move forward, No fancy storytelling, unfortunately. When I look back, I go, I wish there would have been this sense of nice, beautiful storytelling and impact of, how people go through routines, and routines are so helpful and beneficial, and people do movements and breath work and writing, and it gets them so focused and effective for the rest of the day that it just changes their mood levels and their ability to get things done. But no, I just said, I'm Brad, this, and this is what we're doing, which was fine. Punto, finito, done. And then we started, and, when I look back, I realized I went fast, but I didn't care because I did it. I was brave. Now, I'm a super hard critic on myself, and I'll be the first one to admit that, and it hasn't changed as much as I may have liked it to, but I'm okay with that because it also gets me to where I want to be. I feel. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong way, and I'll change that in a few months. But what I noticed is I did things very fast. Could have gone slower. I could have breathed more, However, we made it through. And after minute 2 or 3, flow started happening. It's like, okay, I know what we're doing. We've got this rhythm. I can stay within my own space or energy of focus and calm. And that's where it went. And 25 minutes later, we're done. Actually, right, I thought it was 20 minutes because it was. And then right as I'm about to finish, I get in this earpiece, 5 minutes left. And I'm like, oh no. And I was never told well, you can end whenever you want. I mean, I figured you could, but I'm going, okay, I've got 5 minutes left. Let's finagle something. Let's fix and keep going. So I remember looking back on the meditation, and they're going, okay, this is your last exercise. And then after I'm like, this is your last exercise, then it goes to, you got 5 minutes left. Well, how about we do another one, guys? You ready for more? And then and then I make the model, and like I said, I know this person. I make the model do some more thought work and some more movements, and then we finish. And it was that simple. That was it. And when I look back, okay, so there's two ways that I look back on it. There's the one way is what can be improved, what could be done differently, what could be better. Could have prepared more, yes. I could have been very clear on the pitch or the story that I was going to share of why this is so important, and then why you should hire me, and why I can bring what you need to your business. But I didn't. Now, when I look at the good piece, I look at the fact that I had a whole stage for 25 minutes without a moderator. The moderator was for the rest of the space. But for 25 minutes, I commanded the whole space to teach, to get people into a little bit of a happier state of mind, and to, mentally lead people. And I did it without a doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to do it. I always believed, yeah, I'm going to do this, even if I mess up. Now, I didn't say that if I messed up, it wouldn't have been, devastating for a certain amount of time. But luckily I didn't. And I think also believing, what I did is I believed, even if I'm going to mess up a word or two, I can always take a moment. I could probably even walk off stage if I have to and then come back. I can do what I need. But I'm going to go through it to the best of my abilities. That was all. And I find that that's a bit of courage and bravery. I'm not saying I'm the bravest or most courageous person in the world, but for me, I've always wanted to, and I want to still, and I look forward to speak in front of, thousands and thousands of people, and to help make an impact through the words that I have and the actions that I have. And this was more of a stepping stone forwards, and a space where I'm going, all right, here's beginning number one. So, hopefully, if you're listening this far, that may give some courage to you to maybe try something that you may fear, because it's not always about the fear. It's moving through the fear and in doing it anyways, because no matter what, if you're super prepared or less prepared, when you're going through it, you feel a sense of accomplishment of doing something that was, a step above where you're at. And now you can get to that step and then go to the next step. So that's what I found with this space. So, if you've got any of those things coming up in your life, I highly recommend you go try it. I will continue to do so, even though it can be very, very stressful and hard at times, and emotional. But that's why we have techniques. That's why we search inside ourselves. That's why we sit and breathe. That's why we move. That's why we get help from others. So, yeah. Anyhow, these are our conscious thoughts for today. I hope you found them useful. And as always, enjoy your week, your weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. So, ciao for now.